Aliens, UFOs, and UAPs, the cases that refuse to die. What if some of the most significant moments in human history took place in front of us rather than behind closed doors? Not in labs that are locked, not in secret bunkers. However, on deserted roads, over congested towns, within military installations, and deep within forests, skilled troops claim to have seen something that shouldn't be there. We're not discussing fuzzy pictures or online rumors tonight. We are discussing events that silenced witnesses, altered official narratives, and compelled governments to covertly alter reality. Because a troubling question arises when you connect these cases from a crash in the New Mexico desert to a quiet craft above an American city, to people who returned after going missing for days with accounts that match too closely. What if they were always observing our reactions when they showed up, rather than trying to hide from us? Keep reading, because the conclusion questions not just our understanding of the sky above us, but also our beliefs about what happens to those who approach too closely. Number 5. Roswell Incident, 1947, the day the story changed forever. In early July 1947, a violent storm swept across the desert near Roswell, New Mexico. The next morning, a local rancher discovered debris scattered across his land. Strange debris. It wasn't wood, rubber, or metal like anything he had seen before. Some pieces were impossibly light yet unbreakable. Others carried markings that looked more like symbols than letters. When the military arrived, the story exploded. The Roswell Army Airfield issued a press release confirming they had recovered a flying disc. Newspapers ran the headline nationwide. Then, almost instantly, the narrative collapsed. The statement was retracted. The object became a weather balloon. Later, it became an experimental surveillance device. Decades later, yet another explanation emerged. Each revision created more doubt than clarity. Witnesses later claimed they were threatened into silence. Others described seeing small non-human bodies transported under heavy guard. Whether Roswell was extraterrestrial or not, one fact is undeniable: this was the moment the U.S. government learned the power of controlling the narrative. And nothing about UFO secrecy has been the same since. Number 4. Betty and Barney Hill abduction, 1961, when the road took them somewhere else. On a cold September night in 1961, Betty and Barney Hill were driving through the quiet mountains of New Hampshire, returning from vacation. The road was empty. The stars were clear. Then they noticed a bright light pacing their car, moving intelligently, stopping when they stopped, following when they drove. Fear replaced curiosity. When they finally reached home, something felt wrong. Their trip had taken hours longer than it should have. They couldn't explain where the time went. Over the following weeks, both suffered intense nightmares and anxiety. Under hypnosis, their memories poured out. They described being taken aboard a craft by beings with gray skin, slanted eyes, and calm but emotionless behavior. Medical examinations were performed. Samples were taken. What made this case extraordinary was not just the story, but the precision. Their accounts aligned in detail despite separate sessions. Betty later sketched a star map she claimed was shown to her. Years later, astronomers suggested it closely matched a real stellar system not well known at the time. The Hills didn't seek fame, they sought answers. Instead, they became the blueprint for every alien abduction case that followed. Number 3. Phoenix Lights, 1997, the night an entire city looked up. On March 13, 1997, something enormous crossed the skies over Arizona. It wasn't fast. It wasn't loud. And that was the problem. Thousands of people stepped outside after noticing strange lights forming a perfect V-shape overhead. Some witnesses said the object was so massive it stretched from horizon to horizon. Others claimed it blocked out the stars completely as it passed. Pilots reported it. Police officers reported it. Air traffic control was flooded with calls. Home videos captured the lights, but cameras failed to capture scale. When questioned, the military dismissed the event as flares from a training exercise. But flares don't move in formation. They don't hover silently for minutes. And they don't cause seasoned pilots to question reality. Even Arizona's governor later admitted he had seen the object himself but chose silence. The Phoenix Lights weren't a rumor. They were a shared experience. And once you accept that thousands of people saw the same thing, the question shifts from, was it real, to why don't we talk about it? Number 2. Rendlesham Forest Incident 1980, when soldiers met the unknown. In December 1980, strange lights appeared over Rendlesham Forest near 2 U.S. Air Force bases and England bases that stored nuclear weapons. Over multiple nights, military personnel were dispatched to investigate. What they encountered defied training and protocol. Witnesses described a triangular craft resting among the trees, its surface smooth, metallic, and etched with unfamiliar symbols. Some claimed to touch it before it lifted off silently, accelerating beyond anything known to aviation. Radiation levels were reportedly higher at the landing site. Audio recordings captured the voices of confused, frightened servicemen as the event unfolded in real time. A formal memo was later written by a deputy base commander, stating the incident was of unknown origin. This wasn't a civilian sighting dismissed with laughter. This was the military, documenting an encounter they couldn't explain. Rendlesham remains one of the rare cases where official records openly admit ignorance, making it one of the most credible UFO encounters in modern history. Number 1. Travis Walton Abduction 1975, 5 days that shouldn't exist. In the forests of Arizona, Travis Walton and his co-workers were finishing a logging shift when they saw a glowing disc hovering above the trees. Against better judgment, Walton approached it. A sudden beam of light struck him, throwing him backward. His co-workers fled in terror, convinced they had just witnessed his death. When Walton vanished, police suspected murder. The men were interrogated relentlessly, but no body was found. 5 days later, Walton reappeared confused, dehydrated, and traumatized. He claimed he had been aboard a craft surrounded by non-human beings who conducted invasive procedures. What makes this case chilling isn't just Walton's account, it's the aftermath. Multiple witnesses passed lie detector tests. Search teams found no evidence of foul play. No motive for a hoax ever held up. Skeptics tried to dismantle the story for years, yet it refused to collapse. Walton's experience stands as one of the most heavily investigated abduction cases ever, leaving behind a disturbing possibility. Some encounters don't end when the object disappears. If even one of the stories you've heard tonight is true, then the universe is far stranger than we're prepared to admit. Because these encounters didn't happen once, they happened again and again, across decades, countries, and witnesses who had nothing to gain and everything to lose. Maybe these were visitors from somewhere beyond our understanding. Maybe they were tests, or maybe the most unsettling possibility of all, they're still here, and we've simply learned to stop looking up. The question isn't, do UFOs exist anymore? The real question is, what happens when the truth can no longer stay hidden? If you want more deep dives into classified encounters, unexplained disappearances, and the mysteries governments avoid talking about, make sure you like this video. It helps this channel reach people who are asking the same questions you are. And subscribe, because the next story might not be about something in the sky. It might be about what happens when it comes down. Until next time, keep watching the skies.